Well, hello everybody, welcome back to my Let's Play Torment Tides of Numenera, however you say the name of this game. And I think finally this might be the last episode, because we're at episode 166, and we're finally confronting the changing god or his memory or something. So I think this could be the last episode finally. I was going to extend the other episode a little bit, but it was getting around the time that I had to end the episode and have a small break from it, so hopefully that's why I've done a new one. Let's do this anyway. So this ridiculous spectre's gaze and moves to her in full silence. I'm basically trying to convince that's his daughter, his real daughter. He sighs and I go, oh, this I can say and read. So, can you really take the chance that this isn't your daughter? You'll be condemning her to death. You're condemning all of us to death. Face it, this is your daughter. Wow. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You could have saved her centuries ago by merging with her mind. You were afraid to die. Turn your eyes towards your daughter as you originally intended. It will be the last great act of your great life. You want to bring her back. Your experiment and sagas will, with the probability engine, prove that this is your chance. Why would I be so willing to sacrifice myself if I wasn't sure she was worth saving? You let her die. This is your chance to make it right. That won't. I understood how you Cassos think, he says, but he frowns in a thoughtful one. He sighs. Ay, caramba. Can you really take the chance? Okay, just sighing. That's how your life work began. Help me secure your legacy. You let her die, this is your chance to make it right. Made her sick. They will also heal her, you know that. Faces in anger, but not at you. Perhaps at the tidal weapon that made her sick. Or the one who wielded it, or perhaps himself. He shakes his head. At least the thing's gone down. It wasn't 10 before, so I guess I'm getting somewhere. You let her die. This is your chance to make it right. This, what you want to bring her back. Your Sprint Sagas engine proved that this is your chance. He blinks, and for a slight moment, you see something unusual in expression. Guilt. I've rewoven the fabric of reality to bring her back. Battered down doors, best left sealed, and I failed every time. He glares at you. This will be no different. Yet his eyes betray his doubt. Enough of this, he mutters, but there is no anger in his voice anymore, no fire, only a great weariness. His gaze moves from you to the others in the room. You're right, I'll do it. His eyes go to his daughter, flick away as if her gaze hurts him, then return with a will. I'll bring you back like I promised. Her, you chose the catalyst of this whole situation to survive. She is not blameless. Without her, we would never have attracted the sorrow's attention in the first place. She has been dead for centuries, you fool. No, he is right. Don't you see? Margaret is the reason for all of this. The only reason any of you exist. Well, it's true. Because if she wasn't her, he wouldn't have done the experiments, wouldn't have created us. You and I, we have all lived our lives and done what Mariko, however, has done nothing. She had no chance to do something. He turns to his daughter. I tried to be a good father to you and failed, and to them, the cast-off. I did not even try, but my failures end today. Fine, fine. She waves her hand dismissively and turns away. He stretches out his hand to you. Come, open the residence, and we will end this together.
Hey, it looks like you've got this.
I sit over her shoulder as through someone has called her name.
I can't stay. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm glad I got to see you one more time, though.
Why can't you stay? Will we ever meet again? Not if I die here. Still have your god finding if I need you again. Will we ever meet again? She bites her lip. I hope so. Keep terror on you. Maybe if you need me. Well, he called me once, didn't he? He called me once, didn't he? She glances behind her again. Even if he doesn't, you will always be with me. I wouldn't be who I am without you. That's nice. Suddenly she lunges forward and throws her arms around you. It's amazing how tall she is. Taller than you, even. She kisses you on the cheek. When she pulls back and smiles, her tears are barely noticeable.
Farewell, my friend. My home and hearth and bread.
Thank you. Pull open suddenly. The bright light and trees you remember from before spill out of it. She waves one last time and turns to step through it. I guess there's no fight gonna happen unless I went for an attack earlier. Okay, what's about these now? Why did you just leave? I took control of these. Guess we can level one more time. Ability or skill, increase the best edge. What's edge do again? A bonus to all tasks. Who did I... last cast off, okay. I guess my intelligence. His is might. Ah. There we go. I guess we save it. Why did she leave like that? Save 67. So we can have one last chat with these. Just do it before I decide to kill you all myself. Wow. I thank you.
Yes. Now.
I don't understand all of this, but if she hasn't lived at all, fine, whatever. Open it. My daughter should not have to wait any longer than is necessary. Hey, I'm the one who's making the decision here.
Let's go.
It'd be nice to give you an option to change it at the last moment if you want to, like, tricked him. And that way, because I just saved it, I can go back and see the alternate endings if there is any. We'll see. Pulsing waves of heat all roll down the stairs, and you hear a low, continuous whirling that's somewhere between a sigh and a melody. The door is singing as through, welcoming you back. Even in this low light, the wheel at the bottom of the door fairly grows. You feel your palms tingle at the sight of it. Something clicks in your mind, and the door answers. Hidden gears spin behind the cage. The door is opening for you and you alone. During a crisis, move party members to opposite sides of an enemy to inflict the flanked fatal on it. Oh, crud, the Sorrow's in here. The Sorrow is here in his full power. Oh, brilliant. And my friend just left. Great. And she had that great heal. Wearing a unique psychics of its victim was like a tattered cloak. Filaments of light and energy leak from it. Straight colours that correspond to no ties, you know. Its tentacles flutter and flap in an unseen breeze. You come before me at last. Yet we have met so many times before. Its voice is hissing in multitude. One voice stands atop the rest. A woman's voice, soft and deep. Sorrow's... Okay, before I read that, the Sorrow's not going to turn up his daughter, and this isn't really her conscience, is it? It gives me no pleasure to meet you in this place, but you and your kind have left me no choice. Everybody you side creates abuse. Those forces you call the tides, they draw energy from those around them. In so doing, you weaken the seals of energy you do not comprehend. You increase the amount of suffering in the world. Every attempt at migrating the damage has failed. Every step results in misery. You are the first in millennia to hear me speak in an embodied language. Oh, cool. Before you kill us, you are persistent, tedious, and durable, and so perhaps words will suffice where destruction has failed. It's time to bring this experiment in immortality to a close. How do tides increase suffering in the world? Alright then, let's do it. Let's end this. I'm trying to make things right. Suffering in the world. The tides themselves do not cause suffering, rather the abuse of them in your bodies. Your kind has wrought torment on the... That's why the game's called Torment. What's it called? Torment Tides of Numenera. Lost a spot. Your kind has fought torment on the world in the name of endless life. You bring pain large and small, deliberate and inverted, whatever. Without you, the endless battle would never have raged. Without you, the children of the endless gate would not have terrorized the world. Betrayals, slaughter, and bloodshed are hallmarks of Castor's wake. The Sorrow is silent for a moment. Then your sister, the Slayer, Toromorux, cast her suffering into the child Rin. Through the girl had done her no harm, your sister Marken took her adoptive father's eyes and thought she mourned. She did not change her ways, and through she mourned. Even the sanity elegance brought torment into this world. She thought she drew my attention when she lashed out at me in Melavast. No, she was already marked. In her body, your sire brought the jagged dream to Sire's cliffs to forment stride. Arras rejected them, but chaos and misery trailed even in her passage through the world to cast off bring pain. How has this caused suffering again? And let's do it at the end. I'm just trying to make things right. Are you? We'll shall see. I know what they say of me, destroyer of civilizations, death's mistress, soul taker, ender of circle, yet I take no pleasure in destruction. My pursuit of your kind has been solely a matter of expedience, whatever. That's not what I don't understand. But you have come this far. Despite my attempts to stop you, I will give you a last chance. An alternate solution. Okay, what is it? When Ardens asked you what one life matters, you replied that each life is important. A world of potential. We shall see if you will stand by those words. What? When he asked me what life is important, you replied that he... That's a while back, didn't it? I was like, every life... Yeah, I think I remember that. I was like, every life is important. Every single cast-off. And yet now I'm going to give them all up for her. What is this place? Why are you here? What are you? Aaron said she never used a tidal surge in her life. How did she abuse the tide? The surges are one manifest of the suffering, but your kind drew and distorted the energy of the tides at a level you cannot understand. Her passage left lovers squabbling, children crying, and conflicts escalated that might have been avoided. Though she subjected this truth and sought the shelter of Malvast, even she has been the author of invisible miseries. Every one of you is the same. Why are you here? What are you? I am the guardian protector, a legacy of a forgotten people tasked to watch over that which they have failed to defend. Why are you here? When you escaped me on the moon, I placed a piece of myself here as a last resort. I have ridden here in your mind since then. Indeed, I could not have found the moon had you not returned to it in the mirror, bringing me along with you. I called myself to myself in that reality, breaching the station's defense, to close the loop of time that brought me here, all to ensure that the proper of the resonance is not abused, that your kind does not worsen the world again. What is this place? This place is the central chamber of your collective mind's space. It is the resonance, the truth expansion of which your resonance chamber was but a shadow. In this place you touch the knowledge and strength of every cast-off I ever created. What happens now? It's up to you. The question is, with what purpose have you come? Great, what's my options? Takes a step forward. We have come to restore my daughter to life. The expression on his face is softer, more genuine than you have ever seen. Oh, great. So basically, it's what I decided outside this room before I find this out is what's going to decide the ending of the game. Daughter has no body. Points to tentacle in your direction. But if he were to allow her to rise to the surface of his mind, to take his body, then it would be possible for her to absorb these experiences. Though I do not know if it would cure the illness that spurred your experiments. He nods. Even so, it's worth the risk. It always has been. Sorrow faces you, evaluating you. You have lived your life compassionately and with sacrifice. This path does not come as a surprise, though your willingness to sacrifice the lives of all your siblings does. It's the same what I did in the game, didn't it? Tell me, why have you made this decision? She had nothing to do with the situation. She's innocent in all this. It was a change in God's fault, not hers. I can't blame the victim. That's a good one. She has been dead for centuries, her life snatched away by forces beyond her control. I want to give her the chance to show her potential. It's my choice I don't have. Yeah, she's a victim. A fair answer. This is your choice, then we shall commence with the solution. Sorrow stretches his arms. Prepare yourself. Lights that dance through. Whoa! Its form curl aside, whatever. The tormented minds that hang within it begin to stream away. Draw to some hidden singularity at the heart of the chamber. Sorrow dissolves, thread by thread, into the invisible whole. De-echoing into a a ring of nearly comprehensible language of symbols and thoughts, laying its purpose bare. A pure white light grows at the heart of the resonance, reaching towards you. The light envelopes you in a soft embrace. The walls of the labyrinth collapse around you. You and the other cast-offs become the singularity, and the mind of the cast-off trickle towards you. A stream, a torment, a flood, a tsunami of experience and memories that stretch across centuries and worlds unimagined, and you remember it all. You remember it all, the pain, the tragedy and suffering and triumph, all the molten dreams of countless others trying to leave their mark on the world. Memories come, resist. Last memories, let them come. The torment continues as you surrender control. The memories of the cast-off you have met, the ones you will never meet, fill your mind and overwhelm you. You taste their bitter notes and their sweet. The knowledge of solitude and the deaths of friends, every life, every love, every enemy, every first kiss, every first broken heart, triumph of justice served, the acid thrill of revenge, realized, sadness, joy, fear, anger, the secrets hidden, the truth revealed. Bloody hell. All the memories and hopes congealed and compressed, joining yours, they overwhelm you. A rising tide of demands and wills honed by centuries of life, drowning you within them. You surrender your identity, sinking into resonance, and they sink with you, combining into a single sweet note. And then the memories are gone as you stream into Marika's mind and memories, filling her with the wisdom and experience of your lives. You shut out sensation and fall, colliding in on yourself, colliding? Whatever. On yourself like a flower returning to its seed, and then a great region surrounds your mind and composing brilliance. You slip into oblivion, secure in the knowledge that some fraction of your life continues on. So I'm dead. But I saved one girl. When you open your eyes, assails you. Sorrow hovers there, tentacles colliding and twisting. Am I her? Am I me? You sit up. The dregs of the battle surround you, but you feel quiescent in the room, a lack. It takes you a moment, and you realise the first is gone, as are all of her allies, not just dead, but vanished. Oh, that's when we fought before. Utterly, the world is familiar, but you are seeing it through new eyes. You feel your conscience slipping away, as, oh, I am dying, as if sliding under a technic plate. You are becoming Mirka. Present is sealed, tied once again at rest. Your father, final vessel, has restored you to life, and all the cast-offs are part of you now. Our journey is concluded. And the last cast-off. He chose to give his life for you. He allowed his mind to join those of his siblings in resonance, and they created the foundation for your new life. What happened to my father? Lost child, he spent his years trying to restore you to life. He has succeeded, though, at the cost of his own. Sorrow pauses. I caution you against any attempt to restore him. Let his legacy be manifested in your person. Turn to the companions. What will you do now?
First order of business is to get out of the bloom.
Okay.
Maybe head back to Orman.
So
I need to let my people out. After that, if you happen to be in the area, I'd be happy to introduce you to my wife and daughter. They'd like to meet you, I bet. Come to think of it, I would too. You're the one whose life kicked all this off, after all. And you're new to it.
That's nice.
I'll give you some pointers. Worked out well for the last person that lived in your body.
Wow.
Do? Now? The now has never felt so much like an end
Now.
until... well, now. I suppose I could find another beginning? That's what I'd like. Saving the world for someone else.
Go now, choose a wiser path than your father did, and we will not meet again. Sorrow fades into the air, and then it's gone. You look away from the diseased patch of air, but this place is not much better. You are surrounded by black and bloody rubble, by death. It is time, perhaps, for some fresh air. Taking a deep breath, you set off. Is that it? We completed it? The daughter, oh, that's legacy. The daughter of the changeling god set out into the world he had, without knowing, made for her. She travelled in the body that had once belonged to the last cast-off, and with a mind forged by sacrifice. That truly is a female in a guy's body, isn't it? You were remembered for your wisdom and selfishness. Selflessness. For many years to come, tales of your life inspired healers to know themselves, to better themselves, and to make the world a better place. Nice. Lasting effect. Hey. Priest restored. Nice. Elian, or whatever his name was, returned to Ormar with the frame that had brought him to so much grief. One by one, he pulled his tattoos free and cast them through the black metal portal. His friends emerged on the other side, dazed and shocked by their long years of imprisonment in Lan's mind and body. Wow. He saved his wife and daughter for last, hoping without hope that they would be unharmed. They suffered no lasting damage. Nice. Over his remaining years, Lion learned to understand the frame and its function. Orman became a nomadic village carried on the body of a solitary traveller. Wow. So he put him back in his armour and travelled around and pulled off again. Hey! You moved, I haven't finished reading that bit. Son of a... What became of Cassian, no one knows. Some say she wandered into the deserts around Sagas, others say she was found dead on the streets shortly. Wow. After the most recent bloom quake, and others still say she wanders the gnome world seeking something forever beyond reach. Ernest set off on his own, blazing as bright as any comet, and yet the cloud of nano demons had not extinguished the cost of their hero's increased power. Soon Ernest was limping, then crawling. A week later, a traveller found an unremarkable straw-haired stranger lying dead in the... What? He did not have a single wound, a single golden flick marked the corner of his mouth. Fleck. Light-footed boot prints, the corpse's feet were clean and bare. The traveller noticed, would anyone down the road in the direction of the sunset? He died? Self his own, and yet the cloud of nano demons. Rena returned to her world content. She had rescued the one who had so kindly rescued her. In so doing so, she brought close to a significant part of her life. She would never forget the last cast-off. As for the rest of her story, that has yet to be written. Is that supposed to be for a sequel? And yet the game didn't do well and they aren't going to make one. So he remained in Cliff Edge, making his home among the rubble of one of the other houses. He eventually found work in the underbelly as a scavenger for the foreman. Nymph's shadow haunted him, and he often returned to the site of his old house to think of her. I kind of wish they put a picture of who we're talking about here, so I don't remember who Zeb is. The 5th Eye veterans recruited for the Endless Battle fought and fought hard, but with disappearances of the cast-offs, the Endless Battle quickly... Ooh, yeah, I told them to go in there, didn't I? Quickly pretended out. A few groups continued to fight, but most of the combatants left for other battles, or simply for the comfort of the 5th Eye drink. Next drink. The tiny construction children of the crippled foremen scattered throughout the city. They began building things at random, much to the construction of the master foreman. Finally, the master foreman called for his workers to bring the small constructions into him. He was surprised at how much they had grown. Apparently, they had been building themselves as well as random pieces of the city. Nice. He now instructs them, treating them as he does his human workers, and through it's clear he favours them more. What's unclear is how well they will continue to follow his instructions. Oh, that robot thing. Alright, caramba. With its egg safely in the care of the city, the quakes beneath the Sanguine Cliff ceased for many years. Indeed, it had been so long that Pelin often considered selling the rest of the eggs for herself. One night, the inhabitants of the government square were woken by a thunderous crash that shook through the strongest building. Blear-eyed, they came out of their homes to see what had happened. Pelin's home was gone, and Pelin with it. In its place was an enormous sinkhole that seemed to stretch down beneath the level of the ocean itself. Nobody ever climbed down to see what became of her. The city has been tight ever since. So she kept the eggs, right? With the eggs successfully found I can see many years. Pervert offered selling them, but she kept them herself. So they came for her. With the endless gate closed, Ronas and the other survivors and memorialists were able to clear and rebuild. There were so few of them left, so it took months before the last of the blood was removed. They used several different barrier siphons to block the tomb. They hold endless gate in case something else ever came through it again. They never did get rid of the smells. Wow. Oh, bloody hell, how much is it? The bloom was relatively quiet for days after Sorrow's attack on the Mervyn fortress. Nearly all the Mervyn's soldiers had fled. The rest of the blooms, dentists, whatever, waited quietly, wondering what would happen when the Mervyn did not return and nobody rose up to take her place. That's when the fighting began. It started with the mutants of Little Nellers, but soon after factions was evolved, the bloom became a deadly battleground. One of the bloom itself seemed to gorging itself on the lust of them, gorging itself on them. Brusty harboured a small content of civilization inside the fortress, hoping that the violence would die down. They are still there hoping. Colty served the observant spec as well as he knew. Oh, the guy who got there to work for him. Got him a job. True, he never quite felt comfortable working in the shrine. He was loyal and trustworthy, but when Spec told him she was passing on and asked him to take on the mantle of observant Spec, he refused. He lived out the rest of his days working in a shrine, quiet and safe, and very nearly content. His troop remained in the Chundun slum, free from the desires of the Maw. Alagar, whatever the name is, again, butchering Easter about that, became more juvenile? Friendly even, he drank less and extorted less. True, he still extorted, of course. A man's got to make a living somehow. When the troubles in the bloom started, Alagar and his men barricaded Chundun slum. They are still there. Through the bloom itself tears down every barricade they erect. Wow. They simply build another one, making sure the slum at least remains safe. The ruins of Mount Aves lie broken, untouched. It is more than a century before a group of explorers stumble upon them, wondering what happened in this place. What is the ninth world could have caused so much destruction? Oh, was that when I crashed? Wow. Wow. Finally played it. Whew. You know what? I'm interested. If I save everyone and not her, what would happen? Which one would it be? I'm assuming it'd be 66. Because 67, I already made a decision, right? Obviously, I'm not going to read everything here. We just want to try and pick out the new stuff very quickly. It's obviously a bit longer episode. We're 25 minutes already. Okay. Okay, maybe. Don't have to do that bit again, do I? Let me check. 67. Just try 67. I think I've already made the decision at this point. So it might be 66. Have we made the decision? I don't stand. Yeah. We already made the decision. Okay. So it's got to be 66. Okay. Let me do that bit very quickly again. What did I do in that? Yeah, I should be able to go click for him pretty fast, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Come on, do-do. Go in, go in, go in. Okay, continue. Don't need to read these. Read these before. Just need to know what I'm doing. Where are you? What are you doing? Of course, I'm certain I'll make it happen. Where are you? Da-da-da. Yeah, I did the amnesia. Make sure I got everything. I know you. Of course you do. Yes, I'm fine. We'll get back to this. You already got my mind. Yeah, that's what I wanted last time. Remind me how the process works. I want to talk about the process again. I don't want any part of this. I've been trying to stop it from happening. Step into the glowing. That's what I did last time. Boom. How do I flee this body? Amnesia. Quick fingers. I did it wrong order, but I don't think it makes a difference. Smash the machine. I needed all that. Try to figure out the memory gel works. Okay, escape paths, continue. We say you first the gauntlet. Yeah, I used that first, and I had the gauntlet second. Continue. And across the bay, injection, boom. Use the gauntlet, boom. Escape.
I'm ready to learn something new.
I don't think I can save it here, could I? If I could, why didn't I before? I don't know. Unless I went over it. I think I'll straight to the conversation with the decision. See? Okay, boom, boom. Okay. You think someone who causes the change of God would learn from his mistakes? I'm thinking about it. This hasn't been, yeah, just because I need to go down that thing initially because I want to save the castle this time. You're right, you've earned this. There's another option. Your daughter is not yours to claim. The real changeling God died when I was born. You're just a backup of his memory. Let's go down this path. Oh, maybe I should read these because I did this one last time. I know the son of the B word is 100 different bodies. This is a sire, alright. You speak in simple terms. The Spectre says, action and eyebrow, but you're dense. Even for one of my castles, I'm a changeling god and you're standing my way. If you were truly a changeling god, then this woman, she pointed out the changeling god's daughter, even if this woman were just a memory, she should recognise you as a father, don't you think? Rena looks kindly on the ghostly woman, then back at Spectre. But I saw it on her face when you challenged her. You're a stranger to her. He flinches and turns to her face. She meets her eyes blinking once and shakes her head. You're not her, he says. Then with more force he repeats himself. You're not her, of course. You don't know me. He turns his head entirely sudden into dark. He shakes his head. Speaking to you on the moon, you're not changeling god, you are an assistant. Okay. And I said the conversation was turning us into us, whatever, and we said we've been called worse. His voice sharpens. We also said that we hold no illusion about the sanctity of consciousness. That remains true. He growls under his breath. Consciousness needs to be continuous. You're a copy of the changeling god was. If there's any heir to the mantle of the changeling god, it's me. I've been able to change the past through mirrors ever since I awoke. Don't know what you are, but I know who I am. He snarls. It's clear, however, this is fact troubles him. He sighs. Conscious needs to continue. You're a copy. You weren't born. You were made by the changeling god. You need me in ways the changeling god wouldn't. You could not activate the Rezon chamber without me, nor even open this door. You oversimplified the accident, made me a prisoner here, and now, a short time later, I have control here, in the very root of your mind, but there is something new in his eyes now, fear. Enough of this, he mutters, but there is no anger in his voice anymore, no fire, only a great weariness. His gaze moves from you to the others in the room. You're right, at first I convinced myself I wasn't whole anymore, that something had broken in me or been left behind. He stares at his hand or through it, but it makes sense, I'm not him, I'm close as anyone, but the change god is dead. Ah, okay. Hands fail, but okay. You did it, he's gone, she barks, a short laugh. You accomplished something I could never achieve, I suppose I owe you my gratitude. Yeah, you may not be as bad as I thought, but I reserve judgment.
Hey,
oh, so she leaves her here every time.
You've got this, and I can't stay. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm glad I got to see you one more time, though.
So she leaves no matter what here.
Farewell, my friend. My home and hearth and bread are forever yours.
Okay, so I guess I have to go through there and what do you're going in or what? Okay, so that just gets rid of the god. Going to open it, or do I have to kill you to open it myself? You won. Now do what you came to do. So I guess I could save this just to see the other version. Copy it, save 68. Boom. Does this have 68 in my two endings? Well, this has my true ending. Let's see what this does quickly, shall we? Pulse and waves, yeah. The door, it's going to be the same as before. That should be the same. I don't want to read everything. I want to get to the new stuff. Because I think some of the ending stuff's going to be the same. Like, she's going to left, she's happy. Some of the stuff where the battle's going to be different. Sorrows here, you come before me at last. We have met many, yeah, same. Gives me no pleasure, yep. How the tides increase suffering in the world? We'll ask that. Boom, boom, boom. How's resistance? Alright then, let's end this. Stop the abuse of the tides. They say that destroys civilization. Asks, okay, you reply that each life is important in a world potential. We shall see if you stand by those words. What is this place? Look up for this. Who are you? What are you? Convince the Spectre that the true change of God is dead. Is this true? Oh, I didn't have that before. I'll find out. It is late to speak of truths and identities. The one you call the Spectre was the embodiment of the changeling God's life and memories. When you convinced him he was dead, that became true enough. All that remains of the changeling God, all that he is and was, is here now in Lavrim. So basically the ending I took then, the changeling God, even though he was actually dead, he believed he was alive, it became the changeling God. Okay. She never used a tidal surge. Okay, so what happens now? I don't have a choice. It's up to you. The question is, with what purpose have you come? I've come here to stop you from haunting us. I came here to end the tidal abuse caused by our bodies. I came here to keep the changeling God from suffering out of our resistance, snuffing our resistance. I came here to save Mikey and bring her back to life. Oh, I get all the choices now. I came here to stop you from hunting. Where's the one we're getting gods together? I came here to keep the changeling God from snuffing out our resistance. Yeah, that's probably it. Because that's in saving them, isn't it? It's changed. Your dominant has shifted. Pause for a moment. The fate of the castle hangs by a precious thread. Tread carefully. Trade from her. My sire believed that subbing all the castles into himself would stop you from hunting us. Is that true? First said that severing the connection between us would stop you from hunting us. Is that true? What if I just want everything back the way it was? Is that possible? First said the connection between us would stop you from hunting us. Connection of which she speaks is the labyrinth itself. You would no longer draw your power from this place, and my pursuit of you would cease. Your sister solution would have shattered this place. It would have destroyed the tidal seals that protects the population from madness. My charter is to guard those seals, to protect that energy. Had her plan actually worked, it would have destroyed the minds of thousands. I could not allow that to... Oh, okay, so she was wrong. So it looks like... So far, I made the right decision with my original ending then. My sires believed the subject cast off into herself would stop you from hunting us. Is that true? It sounds almost thoughtful, perhaps, for a time. If he could resist making no further cast-offs, but I have trailed him across centuries, and I know that he could not resist. The law of a new experience is too strong for him to resist. He would awaken me again and again. So both of them are wrong. Is there another way to sever the title connection? So we're subsided to someone else, someone who wouldn't present the title. The resonance chamber was a blunt instrument alone. It would have shattered and destroyed the labyrinth. The resonance, however, is a sharp edge. It can sever the connection cleanly and without harm, eliminate your kind and the threat you pose to the integrity of the title's energies. It is the wise choice. Tell me what would happen if I sever the connection between cast-off. Just wondering back the way it was. Is that possible? It considers your words, teasing out the ramification. At last it speaks. Yes, you and your kind can continue to exist, and I will continue to hunt you down. And every present looming spectre of your mortality, erasing you from history one by one, I will allow it. Wow. I think bringing them into hers was the best decision. If you allow any choice I make, what will you oppose? It hesitates, as not sure it should impart this information. Resonance has the power to combine and sever, and to remove the protections over the tides entirely. Doing so will unfetter a truly dangerous force. Imperiling the land and psychic landscape for millennia, I cannot permit this choice, and resist it with any of my strength, so basically you have to kill them. Remove the protections like you. Castos will survive. Said you resist it, that means I can overcome it. Castos will survive. You and your kind will survive unscathed, yes, but the results for so many others, both now and the future, would be catastrophic. I have not yet assessed if it would ripple through dimensions, through indications, but such repercussions are strong. It is not in my nature to allow such a thing. We're substituted to someone else, someone who wouldn't protect the cycle. And what would happen if I severed the connection between cast-offs? Really set everything back the way it was when I was born. Cast-offs was assigned to someone else. Could you find such a person? I would consider it an ideal situation. That's my code, isn't it? The one I said before. What I did in my first one. Yet consider this space. The sorrow's arm sweeps across resonance, strangely aflutter, the movement bending your perception. This is a space too large for any mortal mind. Even one fractured through reality cannot hold it all. Only someone already attuned to the labyrinth might successfully contain your mind. Only one of your kind. How do I choose? I've entwined myself through every piece of this place. It is mine. Tell me your choice and I will make it reality if I approve. Okay, so what do I have? Very well, I'm ready to make my choice. What if I don't approve? Make my choice. Ripples a mental breeze and flows your confidence. I await your decision. Okay, I'll finish the change in God's work and merge all cast-offs into my own consciousness. So, the only difference with that to the Miko one is I would stay alive and kill everyone in the process. I want to see if I can save them. We cancel cancer. I will sever the title connection to access our influence on the world. Okay, that could be a good one. None of these choices are right, and I have no right choice. Choose to fate so many. I want to return everything and everyone the way it was. What the hell? The only one blamelessness in Mako and the mortal door is changed in God. Merge our consciousness into her, and she will live her days in my body. Yeah, that was a good one. My eldest sister, the first, I chose her as a representative of our minds. Reject your authority, sorrow. I will use her to destroy you, and all of us will live free. To ask some more questions. Let go with that. See what happens. Stirs and stars and colours. The flicker around the sorrow are like angry lightning. Did you not understand me? If you destroy me, you destroy the protections on the tide. You will release explosion of tides that will drive hundreds of thousands of people to madness, death, or worse. You will populate this land for generations. Pollute. I will oppose you with every ounce of my strength. Already, I feel the death of each victim. I will end you. Those lies pale when compared to the horrors you might yet unleash. I act for the good of the future. That makes sense. So long as you live, you are slaves to terror. Terror inflicted on us by your creators. In destroying you, we will truly be free. I have studied you. I know your weakness. I am your equal, and I am ready for you. I brought you here while you guided me. I manipulated you. I am ready to end you now. The cast-offs are my family. I will do what it takes to protect them from you. Resistance limits the bounds of progression, forcing the will of your creators on us. With you gone, the tides can be freely and fully explored. Never mind, I'll make a different choice. So long you live here, slaves. No, which one was it? Those live pale compared to horrors you might have. I act the good of the future. As you speak those words, you feel your psychic changing and flowing into a stronger channel. The tide surges within you, a power yearning to be set free. And in this strange place, you see the glow of the energy's pulse within your veins. For the briefest moments in time, not time. This time, not time. You see sorrow flinch away from you. As you wish, the sorrow collides it upon itself and begins to unwind, a streaming tapestry of tentacles and tattered minds and captured tides. A kaleidoscope of colours undreamt by the human mind. Every urge, every nerve in your body screams of danger, poison, unstoppable predator. The sorrow bellows and blooms and rears above you as it prepares to the annihilating blow. Unleash the tidal surge. If I can't defeat you, let me make this decision. Unleash the tidal surge. Oh, here we go. You feel the ebb and flow of the psychic energy you have honed throughout your life, and it rolls, shimmers at the mental touch. You raise a hand and you feel the tides leap within you. They spill forth a tazurium of overwhelming psychic power, the incredibility. They profound the sorrow. It faces you for a moment and you can feel the unbalanced energies within it spiraling out of control. With a scream, sounds as if it's burst from the throats of a million corpses. The sorrow erupts in a corona of tidal flame, erasing everything around it. You fool, you have brought madness to the innocent. I don't mean to do that. Goblets and energy have spattered the chamber with final despairing lunge. The sorrow casts its dissipating self across the horizons, mirrors itself in its radiance. You feel your mortality stripped away, piece by piece, mortality. Let's see what the new ending is. I think the animation ending was the best one, though, and I went for the best decision. Well, I just want to see what the whole ending would be. Apparently there's a few other endings, too. To me, they're going to be similar, though. This is like the complete opposite, isn't it? He leaves us alone, it's in one body, I disappear. Prison darkness and sorrow will eating away at its integrity like acid. Sorrow's will eating. You feel the chamber breaking down around you, the labyrinth disintegrating, and you're conscious to your fellow cast-off disappearing. The dream space fades as the sorrow employs, and then darkness. So are individual people? Find out. You waken on the cold floor of Merron's fortress. When you open your eyes, vehicle assails you. You sit up. The judges of the battle surround you and the other cast-off. Outside the fortress you hear screams on the wind. Terror, insanity, given and murder. This is your doing. Great. His mouth opens in a silent scream. What? I just killed him. He tears at his hair, his face, his eyes, his fingers, dragging bloody furrows across his forearms as he tries to scratch his tattoos from his skin. They whir and scream and fall hissing from his arms, and for a moment they flicker into a nearly human shape. Ghostly, multicoloured streamers cut around him, bedveiling him, and at last he falls to the ground, twitching. He's not dead, though. Death might be a kindness. Yeah, I think the ending I picked was the best ending. Out of these, definitely. This was a horrible ending. First cast off, she eyes you specifically. I honestly didn't think that you had the spine for a choice like that. She listens to the wailing outside. It's a hard thing to choose the good of one group over another. She claps you on the shoulder. But we have much more to offer than now. Where will we go now? Do you think the sorrow's really gone? Where will we go now? Sorrow is dead, she shrugs. I spent most of my life hiding from it, finding ways to defeat it. It's time for me to figure out what my next goals are. She removes her mask for a moment, letting the air play on her ruined face. I should find a way to get a new body. Probably not one with these flaws, she laughs. But we'll see what the future holds. So you're just going to be another changeling god? Do you think Sorrow's really gone? Well, you just blasted it with the force of the Razons. It feared that it isn't here right now, destroying us. And I guess it's not entirely destroyed, but it's not going to be bothering us again. All worth it in the long run. Tell me, what will you do now? Yeah, why didn't he die? Her view has worsened. Huh? Did you just drive an entire city insane? That's not very heroic, not at all. I need to find some real adventure. This is not my kind of adventure at all.
The world has gone insane. I can hear it so loudly. What's to be done when the world around you tilts wildly? Well, you set it up right so you can spin it a second
Screams
time.
batter against the fortress walls. You do your best to ignore them. What's done is done. The future lies before you, and it can be one of your choosing. Return to Mer asked to rebuild, Set out to atone for the wrongs you've done. Find a new path, a strong one. Boom. Yes, new home untouched by fire and madness affecting this place, or the ravages of endless battle, the cure of the sky above, golden blue, and perhaps one day the laughter of children. Wow, yeah, I think the first ending, the one I went for, is the best one. Thousands lost their minds, the Cyprus and surrounding lands, the unaffected struggle to go on with their lives, while madness played the countryside. It prowled the alleys and hollows of the place like the predator the sorrow had been. Meanwhile, the cast-offs, mortal, yet still very long-lived, carried on as they always have, bickering, fighting and hiding in a vast and ever-growing shadow. As the decades passed, they felt the tide stir and strengthen. They turned their attentions from each other and guarded their lives like precious treasure, wailing themselves from the world, increasingly terrified that their hunter might someday return. Yours was a singular life, a careful balance of insight, passion, justice, compassion, and power. Tales of your life were told and retold for thousands of years. Heroes and villains of every era were compared to you, and always found wanting. Wow. The other one I was just remembered for being great. Now I was like, everyone... I was a little lacking. Madness started towards Marilyn, otherwise eventually joined her, mostly cast off. He always has proved unwelcoming to such a crowd, so she travelled on and one day found herself in Color Village. Together, she and the other Cassos tried to create a new community. Marika played peacekeeper for them, but the Cassos are frantic and bloody-minded in their arguments. Marika had her fill of death. Several years she left her home. Some of her siblings pursued her, hoping to gain the benefit of her hard-won wisdom, but she had vanished utterly. She's happy now. So one of them's happy and everyone's fighting. Everyone set off on his own, blazing bright as any comet, and yet the cloud of nano demons that's the same, isn't it? Cost the heroes increased power. Limping and crawling, yeah, so his is the same. Rin returned to her world content. She had rescued the one who had so kindly rescued her. So doing, she brought a closure to Signet. That's the same, we'll never forget. As for the rest of the stories that have been written, that's the same. Cliff's Edge, making his home among the rubble of one of the other houses. A scavenger for the four men, Nevins hunted him. Nem's shadow haunted him, and other returned to site. That's the same, wasn't it? The fifth eye ventured to recruit the endless battle for and fought hard. The endless battle continued on for many years, for as many years as there was cast-off, which was indeed a long, long time. The tiny construction shield, that's the same, isn't it? Now struck cemetery, yeah, it's the same. With the Stitches eggs, Palmer's home was, yep, it's the same. Endless cloud, they never get rid, that's the same. Michigan Harbour small, civilized side, fortress, hoping, yep, the same. He lived out the rest of his days working a shrine. When the troubles of the bloom started, as his men, yep, his slums at least remained safe. The last castle returned to the ruins of Maravast, hoping to rebuild some of what he had lost, or maybe to find something he didn't know he had. Huh. So yeah, I'm at the two endings. The first one I went for, I think, was the best one. I sacrificed myself. I was remembered as a great hero. And well, this one, that's kind of a hero and a villain. Huh. 47 minutes, wow. Guess we did a big, long episode of 166. So, overall, the game was different. It was good, it was cool. And how long an average did it take me to complete? Let's have a quick look. 49 hours, 50 hours. Depending on which version we went down. So basically, where people say it's a 20-hour game, it took me like 50 plus hours. And actually playing on Steam, it says at the side 57.2 right now. But I don't think that even updates until you turn the game off. And I've been doing the last 2 to 3 hours worth of episodes right now, so there's probably like 60 plus hours on the Steam, because at times I died, I had to reload, yada yada yada. But as for the game itself, 49 to 50 hour game, not bad. And I kind of do wish they would make a sequel, but apparently this did horrible for some reasons, and I'm not going to. But I hope you enjoyed watching the series, and I hope you enjoyed the look at the ending that I got, and the extra ending I went back to show you. And what's your thoughts of the series? What's your thoughts of the game itself? Please put in the comments. Please have a great day out there. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and tune in. Obviously for other stuff on the channel. And of course there'll be one of more probably in this slot of this one. Be one of the old series back for a while. Off my head I'm thinking of doing technically an old series of Planet Annihilation. But I'm thinking of going to like, I forgot what that series was. Series 3 or 4 of it. Whichever it was. Series 4 or 5 next. And then do another set of them, and then I'm going to go back, maybe bring Pillars or something back, that sort of thing for a while. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much. It's been a great journey. It's taken quite a few years to play. Actually, will that give me how many years I've been doing this now? 2020 I finished. It was my first save. 20 minutes. 17. Wow. So this has been going up on my channel since 2017. So 7 to 18, 19, 20. Wow. 3 years to do this game. You know, to get on this channel. See, there's that one. He originally joined me, and then I had to pick. She wouldn't work with him, and he wouldn't work her when we got back, so I had to go with him. And that's something. Is that random woman on any of them? That's all down. So then she joined. Then me and me on for some reason. Yeah, see, that random woman was never there. Except for there. Yeah, she acted like, oh, we're all good friends from the past. Oh, yeah, I've not seen you for so long. You've never worked with me. If I'm not mistaken, like I said, I think she's the woman who was murdering people, and I was hunting her down, and she escaped. So, anyway, that's cool. So thank you very much once again. You've been awesome. I've been IVATOPIA. Watch more. Thank you. Bye, everybody. Subscribe. Thank you. Bye.